Brian Kilmeade with Fox and Friends. He's talking to McFarlane over here. He's a former Reagan official, and John Fund from the Wall Street Journal, and then Aubrey Lees, who's a Democrat, as you're going to see. And they come up with something a little ingenious here. Let's see how they spin this issue, and then we'll come back and analyze. Let's go to clip number 8.
President Obama says the GOP is now trying to sink his health care reform. So does this conspiracy theory really hold any water? Back with the political panel to examine that. First off, Aubrey, as Democratic political strategist, you have to admit that's a bit of a reach to blame the GOP.
Actually, I think that the Republican Party is obstructionist. I think they've stated openly and notoriously that they're against any health care reform. They will refuse to compromise. They're just simply not interested. I don't think it's a conspiracy because I think it's open and apparent and it's publicly stated.
I saw Senator Mitch McConnell say we need better access, we got to get the cost down, and I saw Senator Hatch say the same thing yesterday, KT.
Yeah. First of all, the right-wing conspiracy, the GOP isn't that organized, okay? Secondly, they're not against health care reform. They're just against this health care reform, and they're particularly against nationalized health care, which is the direction that we're going. And I think their sense is that it's disingenuous to say you get to keep your own plan if you like it, because every business in America is going to be forced to drop their insurance.
Civil war, partisan war.
Well, Aubrey, I don't get it. How in the world can Republicans, even if they wanted to be obstructionists, do anything? They don't have any votes in the Senate to block a filibuster. They're a hopeless minority in the House. They don't have the White House. So even if they were obstructionists, this is all on Democrats because they have all the votes they need. So to blame the other party is, frankly, I think, passing the buck. And I think the fact that Democrats now want to move to this reconciliation measure, which would require only 51 votes to pass something in the Senate, I think this is very politically perilous because Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid would have to lead that fight. The latest Las Vegas polls in the papers yesterday show him losing double digits to unknown Republicans. If he wants to lose next year, all he has to do is do something controversial like this, muscling through the bill with 51 votes.
Yeah, there's so many interesting things in that clip, okay? All right, number one, I love the new line of attack. This crazy conspiracy theory that the Republicans are against health care reform just because every single one of them has promised to vote against it. What a kooky conspiracy theory. And just because they killed it back in 1994, why would they want to kill health care reform? And because they fought against Medicare and Medicaid in '65, and we can go on and on. But you don't have to go on and on. They're clear and on the record. They say we want to kill this thing and we want this to be Obama's Waterloo. Orrin Hatch says it, John Kyle says it, every one of them says it. And then, get a load of Fox News with their fair and balanced. First, Kilmeade's question is, you have to admit to the Democrat, you have to admit it's a bit of a reach to blame the Republicans for being against health care reform. How is that a reach, right? And I have to admit it? Why do I have to admit such a nonsense question? And then, setup after setup, and the whole thing is framed as, oh yeah, conspiracy theory. So that's interesting. And then Kilmeade comes back and says, oh yeah, look, Mitch McConnell and Orrin Hatch, I've heard them propose health care reform. Really? Where are you listening to them? Oh, they'd love to keep costs down by doing absolutely nothing and trusting the private corporations. No, but they've got proposals. Come on. I mean, it's so disingenuous. I mean, Fox is such a joke. Look, if they admitted they were conservative, I've said it a million times, I'd have no problem with it. But the fact that they're pretending to be neutral here or objective and doing news, yeah, Mitch McConnell and Orrin Hatch want to do health care reform, but the Democrats are blocking them. But now they did have a good point there. John Fund at the end, the Wall Street Journal guy, said, and it's an interesting talking point they're going after here. They're like, what? We couldn't have killed health care reform because we're a hopeless minority. We don't control anything. Do you understand what they're trying to do? They want to kill health care reform and then say, oh, our fingerprints aren't on it. The Democrats had an overwhelming majority. Why didn't they pass it? I mean, if the Democrats walk into this trap, you just really have to question how, is it stupid? Is it complicit? We're going to have that discussion later with Glenn Greenwald. But think about that trap for a second. Now, if on the one hand they say, you better not pass this health care reform, okay? And Harry Reid, I'm threatening you. You're going to lose in Nevada if you pass it. You better play ball with the Republicans. On the other hand, I'm telling you ahead of time, When you don't pass it, I'm going to blame you. I'm going to say, I wanted health care reform. That's conspiracy theory about how we didn't want health care reform. That's ridiculous. And when you didn't pass it, you had 60 senators. You had the president. You had the House. Why didn't you pass it? It's your fault. And they're going to be right about that. Okay? Just like they did with Iraq when they come back and they say, well, why did you vote with us on the Iraq war? If you thought it was such a bad idea, why did you authorize it? Please, Democrats, please don't be stupid enough to walk into yet another Republican trap as they're telling you on national TV what they're going to do. But you think that Democrats will avoid it? I wouldn't bet on it.